How's it going? So today I'm recording my third ever YouTube video for this channel. It has been, I think, 2 days since I recorded my last one, and at least to this point I've had no views on either of my videos so far, and that's okay. That is fine with me. I'm mainly doing this for myself, at least at the moment. And what I mean by that is I'm doing this to just kind of get my thoughts out for my own therapeutic discovery of my. It doesn't really make any sense, but I'm doing it for myself in a lot of ways. But I'm also doing it because I want to share my thoughts with people online, and just kind of, there's a lot of people in this world who are probably feeling a lot of shit that I'm feeling. We're all human in the end of the day, and we all have our problems, we all have our troubles, we all have things that we need to improve at. And I want to share my own life stories, my own life experiences with other people, and just kind of, get all that stuff out there. So today I like to talk about the word depression. That's kind of the main vocal point of this video. As if you can see to the title, it is depression is an overused word, because I do believe that depression is a very overused word. It's a word that I think is extremely normal for a lot of people nowadays to use themselves or to describe themselves as depressed. And in my opinion, I don't think that word, or the actual thing that is depression, is as common as it is being kind of portrayed and thought out to be. I think a lot of people confuse being depressed as being sad, where yes, you have to be sad continuously to be depressed. But I feel like people kind of just trick their own mind, and they kind of allow themselves to maybe fall into depression, or at least feel like they're depressed, from allowing themselves to describe themselves as being depressed. I think it's okay to be sad, in my opinion. It's okay to be down. I think that it's a very normal thing, because in the end of the day, it is an emotion that we have been given, and it's emotion that we should feel. There's a lot of things that happen in our lives that cause us to be sad, and that's unavoidable. There's nothing you can do to avoid that. There is ways to cope with sadness. There is ways to develop more of hard skin, to maybe not get so sad and so upset over things that really are not that important, which I feel like people find themselves being depressed because they allow things that really don't matter that much to upset them, to make them sad. And then they kind of just fall into this bottomless pit of always being sad, and then that kind of causes depression. But I'll tell you right now, right? This is what I believe, at least. If you tell yourself you're depressed, if you tell yourself that you're sad, and you continue to tell yourself this, then you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be depressed if you allow yourself to be that way. Let's say this. I'm just gonna use this as an example. Let's say that your dog died. Okay, if your dog died, you're probably gonna be pretty sad. That's probably gonna It's probably gonna annoy you, maybe piss you off, but it's gonna be sad. It's gonna make you depressed. It's gonna make you wish that your dog was back. Right? All this different stuff that's very negative emotions. But eventually you'll get over it. Eventually you'll be okay. I wouldn't consider losing something you love, as an excuse to be depressed. It's okay to be sad. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to cope with your emotions. Allow yourself to cope with this thing that you lost. But you should not consider yourself depressed, in my opinion. And then there aren't really many things or many reasons why you should be considering yourself as a depressed individual. I found myself to be a depressed person for a long time. At least I would view myself as being depressed for many years of my life, many of my teenage years. And to me, that was just time wasted in many ways, because I allowed myself on a daily basis to look negative on myself, to look negative on my life, to look negative on the things that surrounded me, the things I was doing. And maybe there was some truth to that, but there are a lot of things where it's like, hey, I should be enjoying this more. I shouldn't be thinking about all these sad thoughts and all these negative things. And that causes, bipolarness as well. Bipolar is a whole different story. I do want to get into that a little bit, but I think I kind of did suffer with that for a while, but I never went to go get diagnosed because I didn't want to know. I also didn't want anyone to tell me how I feel, because in my opinion, when it comes to emotions, which is exactly what depression comes from, it comes from your emotions. And same thing with being bipolar, which is just like a continuous change of emotion, right? That comes down to you. That comes down to you, down to your head, down to the decisions you're making up here, right? Down to the things that you're deciding up here. And I don't think you need, in my opinion, I don't think you need medicine to deal with that. I don't think bipolar is a real thing. I think that's a man-made thing. And the reason that exists now is because people tell people, even if they are experts, they tell you, oh yeah, you got bipolar, or you're depressed. And then when they tell you that, now you always view yourself as that, which makes it 10 times harder to get out of it. If someone that is a experienced person, someone who's a professional in this shit, tells you that you are that, it's gonna consume you. For me, I don't think bipolar is really a real thing. I think it's just all things in your head. And the only way to change that is to change your life, to change things you're doing in your life, to make yourself more happy. And that's how I think you deal with depression. That's how you deal with sadness. That's how you deal with being bipolar, right? If you find yourself doing, or if you start doing things that you enjoy more and more and more, I bet you wouldn't have so much emotion changes. You wouldn't have such a rapid change of how you feel. Where one day or 1 second you can be really happy, next second you're not. Well, maybe if you think about it, maybe that's because of the stuff that you've been doing. Maybe you've been doing a lot of negative things on a consistent basis, and because of that, you find yourself being very negative and find yourself not being able to enjoy things you used to enjoy, or things that maybe are very commonly enjoying, and you just don't enjoy it. Maybe that's just because you have been spending way too much time in stuff that you should not be spending your time with. That makes you negative, that makes you sad. Life is going to be sad. Life is going to be stressful. There's not much you can really do about it. But don't allow that to become your life. Don't allow yourself don't describe yourself as a sad person. I truly believe this. If you do this, if you describe yourself as sad on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, then you're going to be sad. If you describe yourself as being more happy, or describe yourself like, hey, I'm putting effort into myself every day to become happy, then you're better off, or you have better chances of being happy, of feeling happiness. The thoughts that we have up here are what we are, If we, let me take that back. It matters the effort that we put into the thoughts. The effort that we put into the thoughts that are up here are who we are. If we put a lot of time and effort into negative emotions and negative thoughts, and that's who we're going to be. That's who we're going to be. You decide. You decide if depression is who you are. Maybe you're going through a tough time in your life. Maybe you got a lot of shit going on that's very mentally exhausting. But those hard times will eventually pass. And I think you should try to look at the positive in those bad times, in those tough times. And I know how hard that really is to do in a lot of situations, but to me that is the goal, is to allow yourself to go through the tough times and get through it, and just know and have the mindset that hey, I know I'm gonna get through this. I know that I'm sad right now, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna be sad tomorrow. I know I'm sad right now, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna be sad in 2 hours from now. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to go through tough times. It's okay to not feel like you're doing everything right, because you're probably not doing everything right. We're not supposed to do everything right. We wouldn't be humans if we're doing everything correct, if we're not making mistakes. We're supposed to do that shit. Yeah. I have some notes here. I just like completely fucking paused there. I have some notes, not many notes, but I was going through them. I was like, yeah, I pretty much hit on everything I wanted to say in this video at this point. I really suck at this. I was stuttering my words a little bit right so far in this video. Yeah, I suck at this shit, man. But I'm trying. I'm gonna keep putting effort into making YouTube videos like this. Maybe eventually I'll gain some type of audience. But, you know, that's not really the goal. At least not at the moment, to be honest with you. I think my goal really is just, hey, I just want to turn on this camera. I'm just sitting in a park right now, sitting in a neighborhood. Just want to turn on this camera and just speak my mind. Say what I want to say. And I might say some stuff that maybe I'll eventually not agree on as much as time goes on. But that's life, man. That's part of life. It's okay to do things now that you might regret, because you gotta learn from it, man. You're supposed to fuck up. I'm just gonna say that. You're supposed to fuck up in this world. And that's really part of life. But yeah, you know, I'll say right now, hey, if you're really depressed right now and you're just going through a lot of shit and you're looking at life like, man, would it be better if I wasn't here? Would it be better if I just didn't exist? Well, I'll tell you right now, that's not fucking true, man. Or girl. That's not true. You are meant to be here. For whatever reason that is, I couldn't tell you. You gotta go find that shit out for yourself. I don't know my reason for being here. I couldn't tell you, because I don't know it yet. But I'll find out. I'll find out one day. And it might take me until my last day to figure that out. But if that's the case, then that's the case. That's just how life goes, man. But for me, I don't want to be depressed. I want to look at life like I've experienced a lot of shit so far, but I got a lot more experience. I've been through some tough times. I'm going to be through some more tough times. I've had some great days. I'm going to have more great days coming. You know, life is going to be a mixture of emotions, and life is going to be an endless swirl of problems, but it's also going to be an endless swirl of amazing moments and amazing things. It all ties together. That's just how life goes, man. All right, I think that's probably going to be it for me for this video. I do not know what I have planned next. I think I might talk a little bit more about it, or talk a little bit about attachment. I did talk a little bit about that in my first video, and I think I mentioned it in my second one. Since I have dealt with attachment when I was younger, in my teenage years, and as of very recently. So I do want to talk about that. I do need to kind of take some more notes about that one for sure. This one, I didn't really take many notes about this video, which I do plan on talking about depression a lot in my video, so that's okay. It's okay that I didn't really have perfect notes and a perfect plan for what I'm doing, because I'm new to this shit, man. I'm so new to this. I just want to get the experience and just put myself out there as much as, maybe not as much as possible, but just put myself out there at least a little bit. You know, just make my goal is probably to make maybe one of these a week, maybe 2-3 a week at max. We'll see though. You know, I'm just gonna kind of write down notes whenever I'm doing nothing. Whenever I'm thinking about something, that's when I write notes, and then I'm just gonna put it into a video whenever I get the chance, or whenever I feel ready to do so. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Thank you.